Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. Okay, so I've had pretty much, I'm just going to say it this way, one hell of a last probably 4 weeks or so. I'm doing a lot better today, very grounded, and I'm going to open up just a little bit here. So the one thing I want to say, and this is kind of a realization that I came to today after everything that's happened over the last 5 years. And it's been a really tough last 5 years, not only for me, but I think for a lot of you guys too. And one of the realizations is don't give up on love. The reason why I say that is, I'm going to start out with 2 reasons, is over the years, especially the last 5 years, how rough everything's been, it makes you want to give up on love. And especially for those of us who've dealt with real serious narcissist abuse and have been hurt a lot for a long time badly, is I've heard people on my channel, seen them write, post comments on how they don't want, how do I say this, essentially that they don't want to be in love again, that they've given up on love, they've given up on dating and relationships. And I think I want to say a couple things here. It's like, so on the one hand, we all know that fear is what's destroying the world. It causes people to do horrendous things. It causes people to hurt each other. And it's a very unconscious process. So we also know that love is what's going to heal you, your situation, and the world. Simply put, love is the answer. So if you're giving up on love, you're giving up on everything. You're giving up on God. You're giving up on the world. You're giving up on yourself. You can't give up on love. You have to be open. Now, I'm very, very understanding because I went through it too. I was completely closed up for about, I think, 5 years. I was, and for me, that's really odd because I'm a very emotional-based person. I'm a very heart-based person. I'm always being open emotionally and connecting with people on a heart-based level. And for me to close up for the first time in my life after being on the planet for almost 5 decades, it was a really odd's not the word. It was a really odd experience. It was unreal. For the first time in my life, life made no sense for years, and it was painful. And a lot of you that have followed my channel, a lot of the stuff that's happened to me. And just this last thing that happened starting about 5 years ago, it lasted for years. It wasn't like one thing happened, or it was insane what narcissists will do, the gang stalking and all that stuff. And it causes you to question your own beliefs, your own reality, your perspective on life, the way you look at things. It essentially kind of crumbles your whole world. And then what you do is what I've, named the Great Wall of China, is you put up your shield, you isolate, and you do it for a long time. And it's one of the most probably one of the most horrible experiences you'll ever go through in life. It's like being literally like in isolation in prison, like you're in a small little 15 by 15 little cell, and you can't see anything. And that's essentially what it's like emotionally. And for people that are emotional-based people, it's horrible. It's just like life isn't life. It's not worth living. It's an awful experience. You don't want to go through it, let alone do it for 3, 4, and 5 years. But keep going. So if you're in that phase where you have to isolate, where you have to put up the Great Wall of China to people, you have to guard your heart. There's a verse that I just found. Let me see if I can find it. It's in the Bible. If I can't find the verse, I wrote it down somewhere. But it's essentially what I'm talking about. It's where God says, above all else, protect your heart, protect thine heart. Because from your heart is where everything comes from. Your love, your emotions, your creativity, like everything. And especially your connection to God. Okay, so yes, it is Proverbs 4:23. Okay, let me just read the first version that comes up. So it says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. So one of the things that I learned when I began to protect my heart was I began to feel safe inside. It took a long time. And what I realized was, okay, so you know how a lot of you went through narcissist abuse and you literally felt like the narcissist stole your soul? Or they stole your spirit, or you were disconnected from God, like you were in darkness. Well, here's what they did. They didn't actually steal your soul or your spirit, and they didn't they did in a way disconnect you from God, absolutely, yes. So here's what they did. They kept hurting you emotionally, so you would close the door to your emotional right brain, and now you're stuck in your logic. And remember, the right brain is about the five senses: see, hear, feel, smell, and taste. So it's about flavors and colors and sounds and music and delicious food. It's about life. And the right brain is the emotional, creative, spiritual brain. So when you close off from that brain, you do close off from God, and the world does seem like it's black and white, because you're in the left brain, the either or brain, which is the black or white brain. So when you're in the left brain, you are in darkness. It is a dark world. It's not fun. There's no color. It's not colorful. It's just, and that's what I mean by black or white, is the color is on the right side of the brain. So yes, the right brain is the open door to God and spirit. So you felt disconnected. Now, when you begin to protect your heart, like in Proverbs 4:23, all of a sudden, see, when a narcissist stabs you, you close down your heart. So when you learn how to navigate the world, i.e. narcissist and hurtful and mean people, all of a sudden you don't get hurt as much. All of a sudden you can feel it. People start to be rude, they start to be mean, or they start to kind of just get that look at you, like boom, you walk away, and all of a sudden you can be open to God much more in a much deeper way. And then the color of life comes back. Now, this journey is not an easy journey. It's not a soft journey. It's going to take a lot to get through it. And it's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of patience and perseverance. But the one thing you have to be ready for and open for and willing to do, maybe not right now, but down the road, is there's going to be a time when you have to start opening up. And you can open and close. And that's part of the Great Wall of China, or what the community calls isolation phase. Part of it is you never closed your door before. You had to learn how to bring up the drawbridge and put up the Great Wall of China to everyone. And that's what a lot of you still don't get. Some of you still have your daughters or children or people, that are grown adults now, and they still hurt you. And you're like, oh, but they're my children. Oh, yeah? But look what they're doing. They're stabbing you in the heart. They're disconnecting you from that connection with God, that deeper connection, that spiritual connection. So it's a lesson that you're going to continue to learn until you finally learn it. Now, that doesn't mean you're never going to run into a narcissist or never going to run into this. See, remember, the lesson isn't just about who's a narcissist, Mike. It doesn't matter. It's not really about who's narcissist. That's like the extreme example. And then on the lower levels, well, who's being rude to you? Who's being disrespectful? Who's hurting your heart? Who is thus hurting your heart and thus getting in between you and God, or closing that connection between you and God? That's what it's really all about. Are they rude? Are they disrespectful? Are they dishonoring you? Are they humiliating you? Are they doing mean things to you? You've got to learn to close up to those people and walk away. Now here's where I'm at. This is my opening up a bit. I met a young lady, and it was completely out of left field, had no intention. I've had the Great Wall of China up. I haven't dated. I haven't gone on a single date. And I mean for years, since this whole thing started about 5 years ago. And here I am, a dating relationship coach, and this is just not making any sense to me, but this is just where I was at. And I wouldn't even open up to someone. I would just, literally like stare at them with this flat stare, like if I was at a grocery store at the cashier. Just refused, just wouldn't open up to anyone. And I finally got to a comfortable place where that's just the way life was for me. And I kind of was on cruise control with the Great Wall the Great Wall of China up. And I began to notice about a year ago, a little over a year ago, it's like a year and 5 months now, I think. It's actually, let me think about it. I do remember kind of opening up to people like at stores, but not, and one time, oh my God, I opened up to the wrong person, definitely a narcissist. And then the other person, well, they weren't. And that was like a beginning of like, wait a minute, I can see that I'm starting to see the difference now. Now, the really cool thing is that person that I opened up to, I figured it out within 20 or 30 minutes. It was like, oh, this person's energy is like, it was bad. It was for sure a narcissist. And I walked out, got my car, and I took off. And I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? But I realized a couple weeks later, like, yeah, but Mike, how much faster did you figure that out in comparison to you would be around people for a decade or longer before cutting them out of your life? So then, January of this year, I was on the Golden Gate Bridge. I was on the San Francisco side, just about to loop around and get onto to the bridge to ride back, to cross the bridge. And there was this young Chinese girl. She was in college. She was here working on like a special thing. It's a certain psychology study that she was doing, a very specific study. And what happened was she just said, "Sir, can you help me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what's wrong?" And it was dark. The sun had just gone down. It was probably about 7 o'clock. It was winter. And she had lost her cell phone. And turns out she lost her whole purse. And I'm like, well, yeah. So apparently she had used someone else's phone to call. And someone had answered, said, "Yeah, I've got your phone. I'll bring it to you." And so she said, that was like 15 minutes ago. I'm like, really? And she's like, yeah. So she was worried. So yeah, go ahead and use my phone. And she called him, called her phone. Nobody answered. And then I said, don't worry, I'll wait. Just call him in 5 more minutes. And she was nervous. And like, you want to call again right now? She goes, yeah. So she called him again. They answered the phone. And they walked over to us. Now she gave them a hug, and she came up to me and gave me the biggest hug. Now here's what happened. Now, you have to understand, up until this point, I had pretty much avoided helping people. I was really, really leery. My whole life, all I did was, "You need help? Oh, Mike's on the job. Here I am. I'm here for you." Total strangers. I mean, just like nonstop. And I was like, had this great wallet. I would just ride on by, like, they can call the police, they can dial 911, they can ask someone else for. That was my attitude for about 5 years. And with her, it was dark. She's around a bunch of strangers. And at the time, I didn't think anybody was with her, but if her boyfriend was, but he was off about 20 feet away staring. I go, "Who's that?" I go, "Is that your boyfriend?" She goes, "Yeah," which I thought was kind of odd. I'm not really sure why he did that. Maybe he thought that people wouldn't help if he was with her. I don't know. And maybe that was a strategy, and apparently it worked, because I saw this young lady. She was alone. It was dark. She's around, total strangers. And I thought, I'm going to stay here, and I'm going to protect her. And make her feel protected is probably a better word. I wanted to help her to feel safe again, to feel comfort. So she gets her phone, and by the way, at this time I didn't know that her boyfriend was in and around. I just remember once she got her phone, I thought, like, what are you doing out here alone? So she gets her phone, she comes up to me. Now here's what this is all about. She gives me a big hug, and I felt these little. The best way to explain is like these little tiny, like once circular, like little, like a marble or gumball, little white balls of energy go into my solar plexus and up into my heart, and they were smiling and happy. It was the weirdest feeling. It was kind of tickled, and I was like, what the hell is this? And all of a sudden I felt joy for the first time in 5 years. I was coming out of the darkness. And the thing about it is, years ago, about energy healing, like, I really couldn't feel energy, yet I was doing it, and other people could say they could feel it. I was like, oh, okay. And like, energy healing has been a really weird journey for me. But this time, that when she did this to me, I felt the energy. It was no questions asked, no doubt. It was like, whoa, what the hell is this? And it felt good, and it was fascinating. But what it did was that little bit, it was like a little spark that lit my fire in my heart again. And that's what really began to get me to open up again. So I was riding my bike across the Golden Gate Bridge, and I stopped 3 times going like, what is this? It was the most amazing feeling in the world. And I did call her about 4 or 5 days later, and I told her about it. She really liked it. She thought it was a cute story, and she goes, I like the way you communicate, blah, blah, blah. So it was a good story. But what it did was it opened me up at least enough to get that flame, that love, that happiness, and that joy going again inside. So one thing that we're going through a shift right now. And, I wrote this thing on a note here. I'm thinking about putting it on a business card. And what it says, let's see if I can find it real quick. It says, evolve or die, how to unlock your hidden potential. And I've got a list of, things I specialize in, from emotional healing, energy healing, consciousness, etc. We as a human race, as a species, as a planet, we are on the verge of collapse. Something has to give. Something has to change. We have got to let go of the fear-based thinking, and we have to start to open up. To love. Love, we're going from this 2-dimensional left brain thinking to this right brain thinking, which is 3-dimensional, but the 3-dimensional brain opens you up to the 5th dimension, the spiritual dimensions. This is where things begin to flow, where they're natural, where it's not this either or, right or wrong. See, right now, a lot of people are in this thinking of, how do I say this? Okay, here's the part about me opening up. So I met this young lady, and I fell in love. I mean, head over heels. I know my voice isn't really expressing it right now, but I'm talking. That's all I could think about is this person. My whole heart, my body, everything's like has this buzz, this vibration, and it is an overwhelming feeling. Now, here's the deal: I thought I was in love when I was in high school with my high school girlfriend. It wasn't love at all. It's what I'm feeling right now, or what I've been feeling for about a month, right? Maybe a little bit more. Actually, a little bit more than that. This is bliss. Here's a word that I've never used in my life. It's divine. This experience was sent by God. Period. End of sentence. Because, you hear about Cupid. My whole life I've never believed in Cupid. I thought, oh, it's a cute little story, whatever. Now, here's someone that didn't come up on my radar. There was just no indication, and bam, she came out of nowhere. It was like, what is this? And, oh, okay, nice to meet you. You're, kind of cute, kind of funny. Didn't think much of it. And I think it was the 3rd meeting, and here's the deal. We didn't actually, it wasn't like, how to explain this? It wasn't like we met purposely. It was just like, man, how to explain this? In other words, it wasn't like, oh, wow, she's cute, I want to talk to her. It was nothing like that at all. It was just like, I pull up. It was the 3rd time I've seen her, and she looks over at me and smiles. And something in my heart opened up, and it was like, now here's the deal. Okay. It's like I got a quick image of inside her. It was this pure white light with this metal container wrapped around it. And there's a little sliver from top to bottom, and the white love energy came out and came into me. And and it was just by the way, that was a really quick glimpse. Okay, just boom, quick glimpse. Now here's the funny thing. When I was watching videos on something similar to this, the first video I saw was an image of what I saw inside. I was like, oh, you got to be kidding. So and I've seen other artists draw the similar image. I'm like, wow, that is incredible, because that's exactly what it looked like. But it was a super quick glimpse. So literally within a split second, she just looked up and looked left, looked right at me, and smiled. And I was like, uh-oh, like I could feel it in my heart, like everything. That Great Wall of China was taken down. And I literally said, uh-oh. And I turned away and I was like, oh, it's too late. I was in love, just like that. We never got on a date, we never held hands, never shook hands, never hugged, never nothing. You know, I can hear it in my voice that I'm not getting that emotion across at all. Like this was the most overwhelming. Man, I don't know how to explain it. It's just my heart just opened up. This energy, this feeling, this emotion, smooth, soft. I don't know how to explain it. Now here's the deal. There's a very good chance we'll never talk again. So I'm not necessarily saying there's going to be a happy ending here. I'm hoping there will be. I'm hoping there's a reconnection. Now nothing bad happened. In fact, everything was blissful. Everything was beautiful, amazing. Just man, I am not finding the right words. All right, I'll give it. I'll just throw this in. So I went and saw a friend of mine, buddy, and he he was in his front yard. He was working on something, and I walk up to the fence, and he looks at me and goes, "What's going on with you?" No, he's never talked to me in that tone of voice. He just looked at me, stopped, paused. Now, he's never like that. Normally talks real fast, blah, blah, very overpowering. He goes, "What's going on with you?" And I said, "I'm in love." So he laughed, and I don't know. I don't want to get into that story, but it's it's not this perfect, beautiful. Well, it is. It is a perfect, beautiful story. But there was a lot of crying. On my side, and I'm assuming on her side too. I don't know. So I don't know. All right. Let me say this. I may never even hear from her again. Again, nothing happened. It was all good. Everything's been beautiful. Again, okay, today I'm just coming out of, I'm not sure, it's the hurt, it's the confusion. I'm just coming out of that. And the funny thing is, you would think like at my age and how many times this happened, I'd be like, I'm never gonna open up again, blah. No, I tell you what, this was the most beautiful experience that I've ever had. Beyond a shadow of a doubt. Now here's the thing, we didn't, I don't want to get too personal, we didn't, okay, I'm going to say it, we didn't do it, so that's not what I'm talking about when I say it was beautiful. I'm talking about this feeling I have. It is incredible. I can, even when I was hurting, it's just, I lay down, hug a pillow, and I'm just back in bliss. It's incredible. So here's my message or purpose and or point is I get to keep this feeling with me for the rest of my life. So here's my question. Do you really want to give up on love? Because like Brad Pitt said in that movie, Meet Joe Black, he said, well, you never know, lightning could strike. And it's when he was talking to her real life name is Claire something, I forget her last name. Beautiful, beautiful lady, beautiful actress. And in this movie, she was very beautiful. So when he said, you never know, lightning could strike, she kind of was taken back because her father had just said this to her like the night before or day or two before this. He was telling her, stay open to love. You never know, you just might find someone. Lightning could strike. And when this happened, I knew in that moment, like this, number one, it was meant to be. Literally, it was like Cupid shot me in the heart, and I was like, okay. And I knew him instantly. I literally said, oh no. Because I turned away thinking, oh, I can get out of this. And that was like, nope. And I will tell you something, although I have already had two long-term relationships, I've never felt anything like this in my life. This is what it means to be in love. And I thought I was in love before. I was in bliss and heaven and puppy love. And no, this is way different. Is for the first time in my life, like here I am, like riding my bike or whatever I'm doing, like all I could think about was marrying this person. It was the most insane. And I'm like picturing what it's going to look like, what her dress is going to be like, and all the different details, and even like where would we get engaged? Let's do like an engagement party. Like I'm just like, I don't know anything about weddings at all, and I'm just like making this stuff, and I'm like, whoa, what the hell's going on with me? I realized for the first time in my life, like I am, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know how to explain. It's like sorry, I can't stop laughing. It's like I only have eyes for her. Like there's like okay, here's what it was. Like there's a lot of pretty girls around, and I'm just like, it's like I'm not in love. There's just, yeah, you're beautiful. That's it. Like it's like it's the love inside. Okay, here's what it is. I realized I'll never feel this way about anyone else ever again in my life, ever. It's just like, there's no way. There's no possibility. Alright, I'm going to share a couple of stories. So someone's been leaving me love letters at my door with their number wanting me to call them. This has been going on for a while. And I'm like, nope. And right now there's a Chinese, it's funny, she's a Chinese lady. And I think she's in New York, and she's coming out here, and she found me on Facebook, and she wants to meet. And I'm like, nope. You could tell she's a beautiful lady, and she's classy, and just because she has money, education, I'm just like, nothing matters. So now here, I'm going to repeat it again. I may never, ever hear from her again. Now, nothing happened. Nothing bad's happening. It's something going on her side of the fence that I'm not going to share. And it's painful for her, but it's not a bad thing between her and I. It has nothing to do with her and I. There's just something going on her side of the fence, and it's very, very possible I will never ever hear from this person ever again. So I don't know how to, I'm going to leave it at that because it's just where I'm like. So I guess what I'm saying overall is don't give up on love, because you might have one of the most amazing experiences in your life that just clarifies everything. So to go back to something I began to say earlier, and then I went into this description of what I went through, is a lot of people right now are going through this, what I'm going to call this ping pong thing, where they've been hurt so much or so bad in their life, where when someone comes along and has an open heart, they're like, whoa, wow, this feels good, but I've been hurt really bad. So there's essentially a very basic paradigm going on with a lot of people right now that's causing them to pull away from love. And here's what it is. It's really simple. Are you listening to the fear, or are you listening to love? So on the one hand, let's say this young lady, she's in love, it's overwhelming. And by the way, I have a feeling that that's a good chance of one of the things that's going on with her. Is people in general, when they meet me, when they start to spend time with me, they open up emotionally. And most people say, oh, I'm a very open person, very open, and they're not at all. And when they get around me, they unconsciously begin to open up. I'm like, whoa, what is this? A lot of my clients that work with me a lot, they begin to have this experience, and some will have a very kind of a whiplash effect where they'll close up all the way, like, and they'll yell at me like, you this and you, and I'm like, what are you yelling at me for? And they're like, man, I don't even know. It's because it can be an overwhelming experience. Like, you feel vulnerable, you feel wide open emotionally, and not only that, but that's allowing you to feel this deep true love that you've always wanted. Now, what I'm trying to say is then with that whiplash effect is the closing up is like, whoa, yeah, but I've been hurt before, man. I've been down this road and I've been hurt. And you start replaying all those memories in your mind of all the hurtful things. And and here's the other thing is it's such a beautiful, perfect love. You just can't believe that it's real. But it is. And I have to admit, I went through this ping pong thing myself where it was like, whoa, wait, okay. I literally at one point said to her, I go, did you put a spell on me or something? She says, what are you talking about? I go, I don't understand why I'm feeling this way. And that's kind of one of the interesting things. It's literally like Cupid just hit me in the heart. And so I'm trying to get to it. It's hard to admit stuff like this. I started doing that ping pong. I'm just gonna spit it out. It's not gonna be eloquent. It was like I was going through this. Oh my God, I'm so in love, and then I was like, whoa, wait a minute, I've been hurt. I've been hurt before. Like, is this a setup? Then you start looking for red flags everywhere when there are no red flags, but you make them up in your head, and that's what I'm talking about. This is what the Bible people are talking about. Like, follow love. What does your heart tell you? See, because right now there's this equal pull of I'm afraid, but I love them. I can't help it. I want to be with them. My heart is aching to be with this person. That's the love. Follow the love. So that yearning that you're experiencing, that's what people say when they say, hey, follow your heart. Because, again, this is one of those things that I've heard my whole life. And on some level, surface level, I understood it. But, man, now it's just like, because the battle, and I don't think this is just happening with me and her. I think this is something that's happening on the planet to a lot of people. I mean, it's diabolical. On the one hand, you're so in love. Like, oh, I just want to be with this person. But then you're like, oh, wait a minute. It's kind of like the devil and angel. Devil's on one shoulder, angels on the other. It's like, it literally comes down to it. And here's the thing. It's really a simple answer. Which one are you going to listen to? Because whatever one you listen to is the one that's going to create that reality. That's what you're going to experience. And that's what you're going to see. And on some level, you might actually create that experience by focusing on it. I literally mean if you focus on the love, if you listen to that angel, that's what you're going to create and that's what you're going to get. And if you listen to the other one, I don't even want to say it, that's what you're going to get. And it's going to seem real, but you're playing a part in creating that. That's what I'm trying to say. So what becomes real is what you create. And that is the age-old time lesson of life. Like, this is what God, the Bible, everything, call it spirit, was trying to get us to understand. We really are creating our realities. And I think we are at a time now where the energy has sped up. And it's causing us to create things faster and much more real. It's like there's more energy being added to our thoughts and added to this, and therefore we're creating and manifesting that. So whichever one you believe, you're correct, because that's what you chose. That's what you believe. That's what you're putting your energy in. And that's why our grandparents, etc., tell us, listen to your heart, choose love, because if that's what you're putting your energy into, that's what you're going to get. Now, here's something that I have been becoming aware of and conscious of for the first time in my life, that people have said it to me. I've gone to a therapist who said, oh, well, they're this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, okay. But it just didn't, it was almost like I couldn't understand 1 + 1 = 2. over the years, a lot of people have been very, 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 very mean to me, and I just couldn't understand why. Like, what's going on here? Like, I don't, and I do believe this experience that I'm having is causing me to see this, like what I just explained in the last 5 minutes. Like, I've learned this in NLP and manifestation books and consciousness and everything, but I'm seeing it now on the deepest, most clearest level. I mean, Buddhist monks have told me, like, Michael, you have a really strong energy. You have a strong heart energy. You have to understand it. I'm like, well, okay, what's it have to do with people being mean to me? That doesn't even make sense to me. That's not 1 + 1. That's 1 - 1. How is this? This is love. This is good. And they're like, well, yeah, but that's why people are being mean to you. I'm like, wait, what? What I'm about to share with you is it's helped me to look all the way back on my high school years and realize, like, why was this person so mean to me? And my girlfriend in my 20s, like, I don't, like, what's going, it's like it didn't make any sense until a couple hours ago. So this energy of love is it's a higher vibration, which means it's going faster. So when you have this amazing energy, this love, this feeling, if you shift over to possibilities, well, what if they cheat on me? Well, is this real? Are they lying to me? Are they setting that? Or you're going to go down a really dark rabbit hole in a very fast and powerful way, and you're going to really start picturing things in that way, and that's going to just convince you, oh no, this person, they're not good, they're a bad person, oh, why would they do this to me? And like, I didn't do nothing, what are you talking about, what's going on here? So that's why they say you got to listen to love, because it's this vibrational energy that you're feeling is going to take you into the positive. It's going to take you into this amazing experience with someone. Now, I'm basing this all on what I just went through a couple weeks ago. I remember at one point I said, I don't trust you. And I'm like, why did I just say that? Nothing bad happened. So it's like, I think you guys are getting what I'm saying. It's like, it's either or. It's like, it's either love or it's fear. Choose love, because that will take you down the right path. And with this powerful vibrating energy that's going faster, you're going to experience the most amazing love that you'll ever experience in your life. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm starting to see and realize why people went down the wrong path. It's like they feel this amazing feeling, and then when they shift to the other side, whoa. There's another thing in the Bible. So the Bible really now is making sense to me. Like, Proverbs 4:23, protect your heart because blah, blah, blah. There's another one that says, don't let anyone get in between you and your husband. Not even your parents, not even your own mother or father, because they might say something. Well, I don't know, I don't trust this guy, and boom, now you're in this high vibration of love and being in love, and all of a sudden, boom, now you're going down this rabbit hole of why, Dad? Well, I don't know, I'm gonna try. And they give you some bullshit reason, and it's something they've never done, never said, never anything, and you're like, what? And see, that's the thing. It's like love needs to be protected. That's why God is saying these things, like, hey, don't let anyone get anyone. And I mean, and this is what the Bible says, not even your pastor, nobody, not your priest, not your minister. Do not let people get in between, because they'll divide you. 5 years ago, one of the people that was involved in the whole narcissistic thing, I realized that they were very susceptible to listening. They always wanted, what do you think about this person? Well, what do you think? They were always asking. It wasn't just one person. It was like everyone. Well, if you do that, most people are, I'm not going to cuss. They're messed up. They're messed up in the head. So they're just negative. Most people on the planet are pretty messed up. So if you're going around asking just random people that oh, what do you think about this person? They don't know that person. They don't have the same connection. And I realized, like, oh, this is, and something back then, it was the first time in my life, like, oh, this isn't going to turn out well. And sure enough, they got convinced, oh, this is a bad... And what happened was they got convinced that I was a bad person. I was going to do something, blah, 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 blah. And they came back around months later saying, I am so sorry. Because they realized this guy never did any of these things. So what I'm trying to share with you is that, the Bible is telling you, protect your love. Love is precious. It's between you and your partner. That's it. If you ever get to experience this level of love with someone, even if it only lasts for a few weeks, protect it with all your life. Protect it with your heart, with your soul, because it's precious. And it's between you and them. Don't let anyone get in between. The funny thing is, where I'm at right now, it just seems like, well, it's so obvious, common sense. But I got to tell you something. I didn't know this years ago. It's like I heard it, but I didn't really understand it. You go around asking advice to other people, and what do they think? Well, these people don't even know me. They don't even know you. They don't know that person. So they're just going to tell you randomly off the top of their head. They're not in the relationship. They're not feeling what you're feeling and what the other person is feeling. They're not going through this experience. They're on the outside. They don't know what's going on inside. One of the biggest lessons that I learned from narcissist abuse, I realized this about 2 years ago. I think I even made a video about it, is narcissists get in between people. When they see true love, they are going to try to sneak in between and whisper in one person's ear something negative about the other one, then whisper in this person. They are the masters of destroying relationships. And I realized this is why most relationships don't work. And again, it's that part in the Bible where God says, don't let anyone get in between you and them. Do not let them, do not listen to them. They're not in the relationship. So remember, it doesn't have to be just narcissist. It could be your pastor, it could be a minister, it could be your best friend. These people are not, they're not there, so you can't let them get in between. It's just like with me and my life. Like I used to what do you think I should do? Like, well, I don't know, go to college. Oh, okay. What do you think I should major in? I don't know, be an engineer. See, for them, they might want to be an engineer because that's their mentality. Whereas me, like, I don't want to be an engineer. I want to be a psychologist or do therapy. That's all I've ever wanted to do. All I'm saying is, if you look, I'm 56 years old, and I cannot believe what was gifted to. I'm lucky, and I know this is a gift, and I appreciate it, even if it's already over. I will cherish this for the rest of my life. I realize this is a once-in-a-lifetime event. It will never come back around. So once you get it, hold on to it for dear life. So protect your love. Protect your own heart. When you come into union with another person, protect that love that's in between the two of you. It's your love. It's no one else's. And put up the Great Wall of China to everyone else. I realize now that's why we all went through that isolation period that I call the Great Wall of China. It's because you learn to lower the drawbridge, you learn to raise it up. In other words, you learn to put up the Great Wall of China around bad people, and then you lower it with people that are special to you. And even if they start to hurt you, you put the Great Wall back up. And that's the gift that I have now, that all of you are already there or you're getting there. Hey, this is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please click subscribe, click the like button, go ahead and make a comment. And if you want, there's a PayPal link right there if you want to go ahead and make a donation. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next video. I hope this video helped you. I hope this makes a difference in someone's life. Alright, bye-bye.